Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into a topic that's often wrapped in mystery, beauty, and a whole lot of misconceptions: the geisha. Now, depending on where you grew up, the word geisha probably sparks two very different images. In Japan, she's an artist of tradition, elegance, and discipline. In the West, too often she's been misunderstood, reduced to stereotypes and exotic fantasies. So today, we're putting both perspectives side by side to figure out how the East and West see geisha and where the truth really lies. Interview moment. If I could sit down with a Kyoto Maiko and also a Westerner who only knew geisha through movies, here's what they'd probably say. The Maiko. My work is to practice beauty through discipline. I study music, dance, and conversation every day. I don't sell my body, I offer art. The Westerner. Wow. I honestly grew up thinking geisha were like courtesans. But now I see, that was totally wrong. Segment 1, the Eastern Lens. Let's start in Japan, the birthplace of geisha. The word itself means person of the arts, and that's really the heart of it. Geisha are professional entertainers trained in music, dance, conversation, and refined etiquette. From a young age, apprentice geisha, called Maiko, study for years. They practice traditional instruments like the shamisen, perfect classical Japanese dance, and master the subtle art of hosting guests with grace. In the East, especially in Kyoto, where geisha culture still thrives, they're seen as living cultural treasures. They're guardians of centuries-old traditions, embodying discipline, artistry, and elegance. It's important to highlight this. Geisha are not courtesans. They're respected professionals. Entertainers who dedicate their lives to art and refinement. Ask anyone deeply familiar with Japanese tradition, and they'll tell you, geisha are artists before anything else. Segment 2, the Western Lens. Now, let's switch over to the Western imagination. For decades, geisha were viewed through a much different lens. Part of this comes from how early travelers, soldiers, and writers described them during the late 19th and 20th centuries. With little understanding of the culture, many Westerners confused geisha with courtesans or sex workers. Hollywood didn't really help here. Movies like Memoirs of a Geisha, while beautifully shot, often leaned into romanticized or eroticized stereotypes. In Western pop culture, geisha became symbols of mystery, submission, and sensuality. So while the East saw geisha as disciplined artists, the West often painted them as exotic fantasy figures. This clash in perspective fueled misunderstandings that still linger today. Segment 3, the cultural collision. What makes this fascinating is how these two perspectives have started to overlap. In the age of the internet, more people are discovering the truth about geisha through documentaries, travel experiences in Kyoto, and Japanese voices reaching global audiences. But here's the twist. Even though misconceptions exist, geisha have also become symbols of cross-cultural fascination. Some Western artists admire their elegance, fashion designers borrow kimono-inspired silhouettes, and performers study the discipline behind their art. It's a reminder that while stereotypes can distort, they can also spark curiosity, pushing people to learn what's real. Segment 4. Why this matters today. You might be thinking, okay, but why does it matter how East and West see geisha? Here's the deal. Geisha aren't just women in pretty kimono. They're part of Japan's intangible cultural heritage. Preserving their role means preserving centuries of art, music, and ritual. Misunderstanding them reduces that richness to a single flat stereotype. When we choose to see geisha as they truly are, artists, guardians of tradition, women who dedicate their lives to craft, we not only respect their culture, but we also challenge how media shapes our views. So let's set the record straight. Geisha are not what negative stereotypes made them out to be. They are artists, performers, and cultural icons who deserve respect, not misunderstanding. If you ever hear someone call geisha something dirty, correct them, because that's not just wrong, it erases the beauty of one of Japan's most refined traditions. All right, legends, that's the breakdown. If this helped clear up the myth, hit like, drop your thoughts below, and subscribe for more cultural deep dives. Until next time, keep learning, keep respecting, and stay curious. Peace.